As you have learned from previous videos, there are two types of settlements of workers' compensation claims. First is stipulations, keeping your future medical care open, and the second is a compromise and release, a buyout of your future medical and essentially all other costs related to your workers' compensation claim. This is a clean split between you, the insurance carrier, and usually your employer as well. We won't go into the ins and outs of each type as we already done so in previous videos. Negotiating may sound intimidating at first, but once you know your key negotiating points and are looking for a reasonable settlement, this can be a relatively painless process that will leave you with a lot more money than originally offered. I advise that you watch the negotiation settlements via stipulations video prior to watching this video in order to learn how to negotiate the permanent disability percentage aspect of a settlement. In this video, we'll go over key bargaining points for a compromise and release settlement, in which the insurance company will be paying you a lump sum award in order to buy out the permanent disability, future medical care you're entitled to, and essentially any and all costs associated with the claim, including possibly your employment status. The last part is a key factor to remember when thinking about your settlement value. Let's start off by using an example. Say you had a knee injury at work, you treated and eventually had a knee arthroscopy, and you are now deemed permanent and stationary by your primary treating physician. Your recovery went okay, and your doctor dictated a report stating you have a 12% permanent disability rating, which is equivalent to about $7,877.50. And he also stated that you're entitled to future medical in the event that you have an aggravation or flare-up of your injury. The doctor states specifically you are entitled to orthopedic visits, pain medications, a new MRI, a knee brace every year, and possibly even a future knee arthroscopy. Now, an important point here is to ensure that you understand this is essentially for your entire lifetime. Of course, you may not actually treat for every year in your whole life, but keeping in mind that you're entitled to it based on the report, you can use this as a bargaining tool when trying to negotiate a CNR. In a CNR, the baseline value is the permanent disability percentage you're given. This is essentially the lowest amount of money you would receive, and you can learn how to negotiate this value in the prior video, Negotiation Settlements via Stipulations. In any case, say you were successful and were able to negotiate a PD value up to 18%, which is approximately $15,000. We'll use this as our baseline. Next up comes the future medical value. And here there's a lot of gray area, and fortunately that leads to more negotiation power to you. So to understand this process, we'll first go into how the insurance carrier values your claim step by step. When they receive a PNS report from the doctor, they will look at the future medical care that you're entitled to, attempt to put a dollar value to each aspect of it per year, Then, look at your life expectancy in years and multiply the number out to get a full exposure value of your claim. This value basically says if you were to treat for every single year of your life at the value they expected per year, this is the maximum they would be paying out on your claim. Then, they'll come up with multiple ways of discounting this number to obtain a more realistic value of what they expect to pay based on your treatment history. They may say they expect to treat for 5 years and use 5 years of data, or they may say we want to use the present value and use an 8% present value. Then they will try to obtain authority from your employer based on their numbers to settle out your claim for a certain dollar amount. And of course, your objective is to try to get to their maximum authority amount or even slightly above it. And remember, never accept the first amount to settle given to you, as insurance carriers will not offer their top authority on their first offer. Let's now go into some key bargaining tools we can use when determining your future value of your future medical claim. When discussing the value of future medical treatment, be sure to point out that the values they are using to value your claim are not at all the price that you will be having to pay out of pocket for the same treatment. Remember, insurance companies have huge contracts with large discounts on treatment with medical facilities. You, on your own insurance plan, obviously will not have access to these discounts. So make sure to bring this up when negotiating. Another key point is to ensure you're being compensated for every aspect of the future medical treatment listed in the doctor's reporting, and possibly even for treatment that's not listed. Say you're getting injections every 6 months to your knee, or you're going out and buying knee braces on your own because you still have pain. Try to include these values and calculate this out on a yearly basis to ensure you're compensated appropriately. Another tool is to never rule out the possibility of a surgery in the future. The moment you tell the insurance carrier that you do not want surgery, they will not value it as part of your future medical treatment. So always keep the option open so that when valuing your claim, you are appropriately compensated for the value of surgery down the line. And finally, place a full value on one-time costs that you expect to happen in the relative short term, such as QME examinations, surgery, second opinions, MRIs, and diagnostic testing. Don't let insurance carriers discount these values. Finally, when discussing a compromise and release, keep in mind that the insurance company is paying you to avoid any and all potential costs they may have associated with your claim. This includes the possibility of obtaining an attorney and spending tens of thousands of dollars in litigation. Also, there is exposure for you earning temporary total disability, TTD benefits in California for up to 2 years or 104 weeks, as well as additional expenses to resolve your employment status or a voluntary resignation from your employer. Using these final bargaining tools to inflate your claims value even further will help you justify a higher payout when negotiating with the insurance carrier. And as a key tip, when in doubt, try to obtain a settlement offer from your insurance company first. Then try to add an arbitrary amount, say $25,000 to that amount, and gauge what type of response you get. You may not get all of that additional amount that you're asking for, but you can see what type of bargaining authority they have to offer to you.